It's October the 2nd Monday. Good. How are you? Are you comfortable? Alright. So everybody's going to grab themselves 2 cord blocks, a strap, a bolster, a blanket, and a happy face, of course. And we're starting in our version today of a supported back bend. So we're taking our bricks, like so, one on the highest level, one on the second highest. And if you feel that that's not going to work for you today, and you'd like to go a little easier, so I need a second block for your head, you can always lay over a bolster, okay? So whatever works for you. But we're going to use that bolster today and take the bolster on top of the thighs. So everybody, take your bolster on top of your legs. Oh, sorry. Is that very comfortable for you? Yeah, cool, right up. And we're taking our hands on top of the bolster and pressing the bolster down into the thighs. Try to lift your kneecaps and the tops of the thighs up. Reach through your heels, spread the toes wide, and let's find that sensation of gently pressing the backs of the legs down into the floor. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Try and have your arms straight so that we don't allow the shoulders to migrate towards the ears. And then let's start to breathe a little more deeply now. Let's take a slow, smooth inhale together. And just take that breath up into the upper chest, right up into the upper sternum, collarbone area. Feel that breath explore along the sides of the collarbone. And then start to follow through your exhale. So taking your time in that moment, allowing each moment of that exhale to unfold into the next. Completely finishing your exhale. And then let's go again. Slow, smooth inhale. So take your time with that breath. Feel a sense of the crease of the armpit chest lifting through the inhale. So right where the crease, where the arm and the torso meet, feel that inhale lift the crease of the armpit chest. So we continue that lifting through the exhale as we release the shoulders down away from the ears. Good. Hi, Jen. Pressing the backs of the thighs to the floor, reaching through the heels, spreading the toes wide. See if you can grip the floor with your sits bones. And right where the leg meets the buttocks, along that crease, widen the back of the leg from the inner to the outer thigh. So right where this leg meets the buttocks, there's that crease. Widen from the inner to the outer back leg. Thighs down to the floor. So we refer to working these thighs around the bone as grounding the femur bones. So we're actively tightening the muscles of the thighs around the bone of the legs. Let's take the hands to the elbows and just reach the elbows up and overhead, just allowing the outer forearms to draw away from each other. Feel a sense of opening from the center out to the sides. Hi there. Hi, just come and grab a spot. We're just warming up here. So grab yourself a couple of cord blocks. And there's a mat over there, right at the back. And there's a blanket, strap. And let's take the elbows back down and just change the clasp of the hands to the elbows. So we're just warming up, connecting with the breath, starting to focus now from the center of the armpit out to the sides. You can feel a sense of working from the center of your underarm out to the sides. Drawing your lower ribs actively down towards the pelvis. So we create this two-dimensional stretch. We're opening through the underarm chest, and we're drawing the lower ribs down towards the pelvis. Very good. That girl, excellent job. Good. Let's take the elbows back down. And just take your hands to the outsides of the bolster. Let's walk the feet in towards the buttocks, bringing the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. And again, let's take the bolster on top of the thighs. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. And gently press your hands to the bolster to create a sense of resistance here. So we're pressing actively through the outer feet, from that outer back heel, along that line of awareness into the baby toe. We spread the toes wide, opening the big toe knuckles away from each other, as though we were opening a book. Adhering the seams of the book together as we open the feet apart. So we're just gently pressing the hands down into the bolster. And we are actively tucking those sits bones in and under, as though you were trying to grip the floor with your sits bones, growing roots, creating that connection through the center of the buttocks. Very nice, everybody. Let's just take the hands behind the lower back and see if you can cross your wrists. And then again, let's use that breath to create the space, to create that length through the upper side body. Open that upper thoracic spine. Easy does it, ahimsa. So let the breath lead the effort. The mind is soft. The mind is falling away now. If you can start to watch the mind. Watch the mind. Start to witness dropping the doership. Letting the effort be a happening. This is a happening, this yoga practice. The more you let go of the mind, the more you breathe deeply, the more you start to feel this sense of centering, sense of becoming present. Just reach your arms out to the T position, fingertips to the floor. Let's stretch the arms. Arms are straight. So as we lift through the crease of the armpit chest, using that inhale, we start to tighten the biceps and triceps. So we start to tighten the flesh of the upper forearms around the bone, lifting through the front armpit chest, releasing only the backs of the shoulders down away from the ears. Pressing through the outsides of the feet. let's take the hands again behind the lower back this time. See if you can change the length of your wrists. So typically, the body will repeat the same side because it's easier and it's now more open as we've already done that side. So just check in to make sure that you're doing the second side, and then let your elbows be soft. Let the breath create the movement, create the space in the body. So breathe deeply. See if you can deepen your breath even further now. Watch the breath. Watch the mind. Becoming the observer. Very nicely done, everybody. So let's release the wrists and just move your bolster off to the side. And let's lift the left knee up and over to the right, using your left hand and your right elbow to press you up. We're going to take a downward dog using the ropes and using the blocks. So let's place the blocks 3/4 of the way up the mat on the highest level, and let's come to standing. So if anybody has not used the ropes, have you used the ropes before? Okay, just follow me. So grab your right rope with your right hand and your left rope with your left hand. Excellent. Okay. Just cross your right rope underneath your left. So the rope you're holding in the left hand, put your right foot through that rope. And turn away from the wall. Very nicely done, everybody. Left foot through the rope. So we come forward to keep that tension, that resistance, so that they don't drop. Let's take the hands to the floor. Now let's bring the heels halfway up the wall. And let's take the hands to the blocks. Think of your blocks as extensions of your arms. So we're walking the blocks as far forward as we can, pressing the palms down onto the blocks. Let's release the head and chest. And now let's all start to connect through the backs of the heels. Press the backs of the heels into the wall. See if you can try the right back heel first and then the left back heel. So start to discover the action of pressing the heels back towards the wall. Now as you press through the heels, let's all inhale, lifting the chest forward towards the hands. So we're lifting the armpit chest towards the hands and pressing the palms actively down onto the blocks to feel those arms engage as we start to tighten those upper forearms, drawing them in towards center. So the underarms are reaching to the hands, the lower ribs drop towards the pelvis, towards the hips. So there's an active counter stretch taking place through the front of the body as the armpit chest reaches to the hands, the lower ribs draw towards the pelvis. See if you can feel a sense of balance between those two actions. That's the sense of unity or yoking, the yoga. Let's continue on without losing those actions that start to tuck the sits bones in and under, actively drawing the sits bones down to the heels. Pulling up through the kneecaps, pressing through your big toes. Very nicely done. So So my dear, you at the very back, see if you can open your feet a little wider. That'll go. Make it a little more enjoyable to start. Nice. So the beauty of the ropes is that it helps to lift the hips and pelvis high enough that we can find that waterfall spine. But there's also typically restriction in the upper chest and underarm area, so we're working both at the moment. See if you can roll your blocks towards you and then press your palms as you push your blocks away. So we want to continue that resistance of pressing the palms actively down to the blocks, lower ribs to the hips, and then tuck your sits bones in and under. Allow the breath to lead the effort now. So the mind starts to fall away. We have no thoughts or opinions about what we're doing. We're just focusing on the breath. No opinions, no conclusions. A conclusion is a limiting effort. So try and stay open, keep the mind open with that spatial breath. Very nice. Let's walk the hands to the feet, feet to the hands. Coming up slowly. Everybody good? Let's come out of the ropes. Good job, everybody. So let's take the rope like so. So I'm going to take my hands about an inch to either side of the knot and straighten the arms dead. So try and tighten the muscles of the arms. Make your elbows straight and take your arms about an inch away from the block. That's it, very nice. Now start to walk your feet forward. So straighten your arms, straighten your fingertips. Try to take that claw-like action out of the hands. So that's what age is. That's it, you got it. Start to move your hands and then point your fingers. Point your fingers. See if you can come a little further forward so the elbows are straight. See if you can tighten the biceps and triceps around the bones. So tighten those bones. Tighten those muscles, excuse me. See if you can come a little further. So don't poke those lower ribs out. See if you can draw the lower ribs down and tuck your sits bones, drawing your sits bones to your heels. So elbows straight, elbows straight. See if you can come a little further forward. So everybody create a sense of trying to break the strap now, as though you are pulling your arms apart without letting the hands move. So pull the arms apart. Very nice. Let's slowly walk back. Great job, everybody. And since we're here, let's take the second rope and let's walk the body forward. And now start to lean into your strap. That's it. And then walk your feet back a little. Let's start to press through the heels. Take your sits bones down to your heels. So tuck the pelvis. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. See if you can walk your feet back a little further. Very nicely done, everybody. So we want to try to avoid dropping the head a little. So lift through the crease of that armpit chest. Think about that crease lifting up from your heels. So this is very much about the effort becoming a happening. So we are dropping the doership, and you'll find little microscopic areas in the body will release, and you won't have done anything but linger with the breath, allowing the mind to be still if you can. So no opinion. Good job. Just slowly walk back. Good. Then you want to do the hang, right? Let's release the arms. So this is Sylvega's favorite pose. I am very short, y'all. So you have to hang. So bend your knees. You can see I'm barely bending my knees. And I bring my hips to the wall as I walk my feet back. So the lower ribs are pressing into the wall. I'm pressing the heels down and looking up. So the lower ribs are pressing into the wall. The shoulders drop down. The heels reach to the floor as you look up. See if you can press your ribs into the wall. Lift your belly, lift your sternum. So the knees are bent as you walk the feet back into the wall, and then slowly straighten the legs. Release the arms. Jen, I was going to do some hand work, but now you're gone, so I think I'll come down to the floor. All right, guys. So let's all come down to the floor. We're going to do a little stretching. If you're super uber tight, sit on a blanket. Sit on 2 blankets, because it will help. That's it. And let's just extend the legs long. So we're starting in Dandasana. So just take the fleshy part of the sits bones and pull it away. Pull your kneecaps up and see if you can drop the backs of the thighs down to the floor by reaching the balls of the feet slightly forward. So you'll find that by bringing those balls of the feet slightly forward, the heels will help to drop the thighs and pulling the kneecaps up. So you may or may not need a strap. Don't panic if you need one. I lived with a strap forever. See if you can take your hands to the outside of the feet. Or grab, there we go. Or grab a strap. No biggie. You got it. Nicely done. So we lengthen from the sides of the body through the arm of the chest, lengthening as we lift through the front of the body. Pressing the backs of the thighs down. Just coming forward into Paschimottanasana from Dandasana. So press the backs of those thighs down to the floor. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. So notice the belly and the sternum are lifting. The sides of the body are lifting in order that we avoid jamming the sacrum into the lower back. So the work comes from the sides of the body. Nicely done. Let's release the feet and just take your right hand to your right leg. Let's lift that leg up. And open that leg out to the side. Let's take the block onto that right thigh. This is the Baddha Konasana leg, and roll that thigh out. Roll that thigh out. If for any reason you have a hamstring issue and you can feel that left leg, just take the left leg out to the side. So you notice I'm looking to the right to roll that right thigh. Back, back, back. Externally rotating the thigh. Left hand to those right ribs as I start to bring the right ribs and the belly towards the inner left thigh. So we're trying to twist while we're up, drawing the shoulders down, lifting through the crease of the armpit chest. And then we start to come forward and take the left hand to the left foot. So So that right thigh is still rolling back. The belly and the right ribs are still turning towards the inner left thigh. And we create this hinge over from that crease of the left hip over that left thigh. And then let's just release the block, right hand to meet the left. So again, press down to the back of that left thigh, lift through the sides of the body. So feel a sense of lift and length through the sides. And we're not ignoring this leg. We're rolling that right thigh out and feeling a sense of pointing that knee by lengthening that thigh from the top of the hip along the thigh out through the kneecap. So I call this moving in stillness. There's no active movement, but we are all working hard here. We're working to penetrate through 7 layers of connective tissue into the bone, and this takes a while. So the mind lets go and the breath leads the effort. Good. Let's slowly lift back up. And let's bring that right foot to the floor. I always do this in stretch class. And you can see I'm taking a strap around my waist because I have a difficult time binding. Alright? I'm a yoga teacher and I still find a difficult time binding, so that's totally cool. And it has a lot more to do with the disparity between the height of the knee and the shoulder. So some people are taller in their torso and shorter in their legs. Some are long legs, short torso. So BKS Iyengar was a long torso, long leg, short torso. I am the exact opposite. And most Westerners are too. So let's lift that right arm up. Lift and lengthen. So try to press through that right heel. Lift and lengthen. That's it. And let's try and fold forward to start. So we're dropping forward to start. See if you can let your breath lift those creases of the armpit chest, following through the exhale. So we take a few breaths, just focusing on dropping forward. And then let's start to take that right arm around. So I dig that forearm into the shin to try and get a little traction, and then start to take that hand back, walking the hands together. So we just do what we can here. So take the strap, walk your hands together along the strap. Good. You got it. Nice. Very nice. So now we can see if we can just let the breath create a little bit of space. Lifting through that crease of the armpit chest. Maybe we can walk the hands a little closer together. See if you can get your hands even closer together. That's it. So draw that right knee in towards the side of the body, pressing through the right heel. We're releasing and dropping that inner right groin down, pressing through the back of the left thigh. And then let's start to look towards the left. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest, press through the right heel. Good. So we're squeezing that right knee in towards the right side body to give that pancreas, liver, and spleen a little massage using the breath. So the only movement that comes is your breath. That's what drives that space and movement inside the body. So try and let your mind go and just breathe. Breathe deeply. So you can lift a little taller. Good. Looking to the left. Very nicely done, everybody. And then let's slowly release. Take your right hand back. And let's take a counter stretch. Left arm forward as you look to the right. So we're taking that left arm to the outer right thigh, squeezing the thighs together, looking to the right. Lift through the sides of the body, press through the right heel. Let's hear some breathing. Let's create a little energy in the room with the breath. Good. Let's slowly release. So let's drop that right leg again out to the side. And let's take the left leg out to the side as wide as we can. Let's take the block to the inner left ankle. So place your right hand on that right thigh to roll that right thigh out. And let's take the left hand to the block and start to push that block away. So we're keeping the left side of the body as open as we can. The shoulder drops down away from the ears. Press through the back of the left thigh as you lift up through the sides of the body. Let that breath lead the way. Let the breath perform its magic. Let's take the right hand and lift that hand up and all the way over to the left. Lift your belly, everybody. Lift your sternum. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. Lift that right elbow. Right hand to the left. Good job. Breathe, everybody. Don't be afraid of the sound the breath creates. Okay, one more deep inhale, and on your exhale, connect with a sense of letting go. See if you can push that tension out through your exhale. And then let's slowly lift back up. Release. Good job. Left leg back in, and let's straighten the right leg. One more time. Let's fold forward. Just grab the outsides of the feet, pressing the backs of the thighs to the floor. Let's take the left hand to that inner left knee and just lift and open the knee. And let's take the block, and again, roll that left thigh out. So externally rotating that left thigh out, rolling it out some more. So you can see I'm really leaning and looking to the left. And then my right hand draws those left ribs, and the belly draws over towards the inner right thigh. See, I'm cutting the floor with the inside of that right leg like a knife, twisting while you're up. And then let's take the right hand to the outer right foot. So see if you can keep that left thigh rolling out. And then let's take the left hand to meet the right. So try to lift through the sides of the body. Try to create that length through the front. The breath is leading the way. The mind is soft. The mind has no opinion. Deep breaths now, deep breaths. Let your mind fall away. Enjoy that sense of pleasure that comes from just breathing. The presence of mind. Slowly release. Let's take the left foot up. So have that hand print so you can scooch. And let's focus on folding forward to start. So pressing the back of that right thigh to the floor. Press your left heel to the floor. Drop that inner left groin down. So you can see how my right leg wants to turn to the right. So I have to work hard to cut the floor with the inside of that right leg like a knife. And that right kneecap is lifting, the right thigh is lifting. My focus on this first step is just to fold forward, to drop down. A little bit of headway comes with each breath. Let's dig that left forearm into the shin and then try and take your left hand back. Let's walk the hands together. That's it. So press your left heel, drawing that left thigh into those side ribs. Give your heart a little love. It gives out a lot of love, so let's give a little love to the heart. So breathe deeply. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. Press the back of the right thigh down as you look slowly to the right. Breathe to create that magic. The mind doesn't create this magic. The breath creates the magic. See if you can walk your hands a little closer together. Good job. Good job, Sylvia. Breathe deeply here. Very nice. Let's slowly release. So taking your left arm back, right arm to the outer left thigh, twisting to the left, lift. So that spine is lifting up into extension. It's a back bend, and then we twist. So the axle twist is from the top to the bottom. We're not moving laterally. So try not to let your ribs poke out to the side. Create a nice long axle twist. Hello? Hi. Okay. And then let's slowly release. So just drop your left knee out. And let's take the right leg out to the side. Hi, how are you? Good. Are you here for the class?
No, I just came to find out about Joy.
You just need to go on the website, my dear, and pick a class. And if you need a class, feel free to write in and ask for a class. I would suggest that a hatha class or a restorative class would be good for you. Okay?
Okay, so just turn up.
Yes, exactly. We have everything you need. Brilliant. See you soon.
Yeah.
So let's take the block to the inner right ankle. Try to keep that left thigh rolling out. And let's start to walk the block forward. So the thigh presses down through that right leg.
Oh.
And then let's lift that left arm up. Try and keep your left elbow high as you take that left hand over to the right. Very nice. So let the breath lift through the sides of the body. Create that momentum by pressing the back of that right thigh down to get a little more elevation. And then take that left hand even further over to the right. Good job, you guys. Open your fingers, open your hands. That's it. So we're creating space from the hip to the underarm. Very nice. Let's slowly lift back up. Feel the release. So let's cross the legs. Let's move the strap off to the side. We're going to just take a free-fall downward dog. So to measure the distance between your hands and feet, bring your feet together, knees wide. So we come into a child's pose. Stretch the arms forward into Adho Mukha Virasana. Take a few breaths here. Just allow the body to receive this new place. Very nice. Let's slowly lift the hips up. Let's tuck the toes in and under, downward dog, so Adho Mukha Shavasana. The first order of the day is to lift those kneecaps. So let's lift the right kneecap up and press the right heel down. Without releasing your right heel, let's lift the left kneecap up and press the left heel down. So we lift both kneecaps up and we spread through the base of the foot, making the ankle narrower and narrower. If you can draw your shoulders away from your ears so the creases of those inner elbows are rolling up, and then draw the outer forearms in to lock the shoulders down. So here's the tricky part. Without letting your hips come forward at all, see if you can gently lift your heels, so don't let your sacrum come forward. Pull your hips back as you lift your heels. And then let's take the heels down. So we're lengthening through the sides of the body. Lower ribs to the hips, sits bones down to the heels. Let's walk the hands to the feet, coming into Uttanasana. So for most of us, our feet should be slightly wider than the pelvis. If for some reason you cannot bring your hands to the floor, that's when you use the block. Let's bring the weight forward so the hips stack on top of the knees and the knees stack above the ankles, and then lift those kneecaps up. So this is a critical movement of the legs to lift those kneecaps up. So try to pull your kneecaps up more and more and more. See if you can stretch your toes forward and lengthen through the big toes. So lengthen through the outsides of those big toes. Lengthen through the insides of those big toes. Kneecaps lift. Inner thighs are rolling in and drawing back. Fronts of the thighs draw straight back into the backs of the legs. And those outer hips also draw back. So we stack the hips above the knees. And then we start to take those lower ribs down towards the hips to release the head and fall forward. Very nice. So let's see how long you can keep your heels on the ground. We're going to walk our hands back towards downward dog without lifting the heels. So take your time. Little movements are better movements. So lift your kneecaps, press your heels. Walk your hands a little further forward. Lift your kneecaps, press your heels. Let's walk the hands a little further forward. Lift the kneecaps, press the heels. Let's come a little further forward. Lift the kneecaps, press the heels. See if you can find a sense of dragging your hips and sacrum back. Very nice. Let's drop the knees down. Let's all take a blanket and place it in the center of your mat. Let's bring the knees onto the blanket. And let's take the block out to the side, left foot out to the left. So you see my right hand, my right knee, my left foot are all on the same axis. Reach the left arm up and over. So press your outer left heel to the floor. Take your hips forward. Let's open the chest and underarm. Open the chest, open the underarm. So again, stretch that arm. Open your fingers, open your hand. That a girl. Stretch, open the hand. Good. Stretch that left hand all the way overhead. Good. Pelvis forward. Lift your belly. Breathe deeply. So we never take that that deep breath for granted. We have to work at that effort, unfortunately. Very nice, everybody. Let's slowly lift back up. So let's reach the right arm up, lift as high as you can, so stretch up. Lift, that's it, good. Right hand over to the left. So that left hand comes down to that left foot, and the hands eventually come together. So if you can take your hand down even further, go for it. So Puryangasana is a great lateral twist, and it's also a double back bend. It's an excellent movement for the spine. See if you can take your right hand even further to the left. Good job, everybody. Very nice. Let's slowly lift back up. And since we're here, let's take the blocks with us. Let's step the left foot forward and drop the hips down. So walk your left foot as far forward as you can, keeping your knee stacked above the ankle. Good, very nice. So let's press to the top of that right foot. See if you can press down through that right foot. Dropping your hips, press through your left heel, press through the top of the right foot. Let's take the hands behind that left knee as we lift up. So don't let your hips lift. And let's take the hands interlacing the fingers. Point your index fingers. And let's take the arms back behind the ears. Back behind the ears. Very nice. Drop your hips. Lift your belly. Shoulders down away from the ears. Press to the left foot. Press to the right foot. Breathe deeply here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Very nice. Let's take the hands down. And let's step the left leg forward even further. See if you can slide your left foot forward, just for fun. So you can see I'm scooching my foot back and forth. This helps to bring the left heel a little further down. And you see if you can bring your blocks a little further back. So eventually we're coming into Hanumanasana, the splits. So lift that left kneecap up. Lift the left kneecap. Pull that left kneecap up. Lift your belly. Lift the crease of the armpit just. Very nicely done, everybody. Let's slowly walk that left foot back again. Meet the right. And let's take the block to the left. Right foot out to the right. And let's reach that right hand up and over. So press that right heel. Take your hips and pelvis forward. Open your right underarm. Open your right nipple. So there's a counter stretch taking place here. We press through that outer right heel, and then we reach the right arm in the opposite direction. See if you can create that double action. Create a balance between those two actions. That's the yoking, the union we're looking for. Using the breath to guide you through the pose. Open, open, open. And then let's slowly lift back up. Reach the left arm, lift up, lift, lift, lift. Stretch as high as you can. Left hand over to the right. So this right sit bone is dropping down towards that inner left thigh. The left hand is working towards coming together to meet the right. And then the palms come down towards that right foot. Not in my lifetime. Breathe deeply, everybody. Lift the belly. Lift the corners of the smiley face. And then let's slowly lift back up. Nicely done. Let's take the blocks onto the highest level, taking that right foot forward, walking that foot as far as you can forward, but keep that right knee stacked on top of the ankle. So typically, the knee does not want to pass the ankle unless you're in a squat of some variety. And then pressing through the back of that left foot, pressing through the right heel. Let's drop the hips and lift through the crease of the armpit chest. That's it. So this is easier, right? This is easier. So this is harder. We're working, so that's why I think of these blocks as extensions of my arms. If you can imagine where this pose goes, we come into the splits, and the hands come all the way back behind towards that left foot. True. So let's all take our arms up and see if you can get those arms back behind your ears. Press through your right heel, press through the top of the left foot, lift your belly. Good job, everybody. So press through that right heel, drop your hips, press to the left foot, drop your hips. And then let's bring the hands to the blocks. And let's start to come into Hanumanasana now. So just bringing that foot forward. Good. So one side is always easier than the other, right? The trick is to not cheat asana, so that eventually we might make a little progress. Lift through the crease of the armpit chest. Breathe deeply, everybody. Full body breaths. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Nicely done. So let's slowly take that right leg back. And now we're going to take that blanket to the top here. And you might need a foam block. If you're really sensitive, you might need a foam block. This isn't too hard, but let me demonstrate. So we're going to continue to open the hamstrings. So I bend my knees and try and work toward getting my legs to the wall. And now, let's all grab the strap. So you see how I'm grabbing the strap. Just take a look at what I'm doing. And I'm going to take the strap around the left foot this time. And then just gently, see how I'm tipping the leg over to get this block underneath that outer left hip. And then as I start to open this leg, you can see the work to open this right groin. It's fabulous. We want to keep an eye that the two thighs, the pelvis is on the same line. So if you take the right leg down, the left leg comes down at the same amount. So everything's in balance. Right arm out to the side. And we're starting to work that right heel, pressing the right heel into the wall to drop the right thigh down. And we're reaching the inner left thigh to the knee, starting to work that left leg, and then inner left shin to the ankle. So just doing what you can. The advantage of having the heel, that right heel to the wall, is it helps us from tipping. And we can find a little more balance and symmetry. So good job, everybody. Press through that right heel. And now working that left leg. Notice how working one leg, usually starts to activate the other. Very nice, everybody. Let's slowly lift that left leg back up and just release the strap. Let's take the left thigh into the chest. Take your hands around the back of that left thigh. Press your right heel to the wall. And let's tuck that left side of the pelvis in and under as you press through your right heel. So we're just drawing the left thigh into the chest. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, lifting through the crease of the front armpit. Right thigh down. Right thigh down. Now see if you can take your left hand to your outer left foot, and instead of taking the hand on the outer, let's thread it in and under. So see if you can take that left arm inside, stacking that left foot on top of the knee. And we're working to get this left thigh down to the floor. Pressing through the right heel, dropping the shoulder down so that that left scapula is drawing down to the floor, shoulders away from the ears. So we're just doing what we can. Very nicely done, everybody. Let's release that left leg. Take the left leg back to meet the right. Let's interlace the palms overhead for our supine Tadasana. Press through your heels. Tuck, tuck, tuck your tailbone in and under. So you can feel your sit bones drawing towards your heels. So feel the center of your buttocks, rolling those roots through the floor. Try to feel the lower ribs drawing to your hips. Sits bones to the heels. Outer shins are drawing down to the floor. And then thank God we only have two sides, right guys? So, exactly, really. So that's draw the right leg in and just look for the loop around that right foot to start. And you'll notice the two sides may not necessarily match. Try not to have too much thought about that. And then let's take the block underneath the right hip this time. So just tucking it underneath that right sits bone or right cheek. And then very slowly opening that right leg, trying to keep that left heel active to the wall, left arm out to the side. And we only open the leg so that we keep both of the sides of the pelvis even and in balance. Sometimes it helps to have a bolster or something underneath the thigh. You feel like you're losing that balance. All sorts of things you can do. But we're looking right now to open that left groin. Opening the left groin, and we're doing this by working that right leg, reaching the inner right thigh to the knee, inner right shin to the ankle, top of the left thigh down into the back. So we're grounding this left femur bone, and we hopefully have that connection with the heel to the wall. So we're just doing what we can here. Creating this opening in the groin area to prepare the body for our standing poses. See if you can tighten the muscles of the legs around the bone. And then moving slowly, let's slowly lift that right leg back up. And let's remove the block. Taking the strap off the leg. Let's take the hands around the back of the right leg as we draw the thigh to the chest. Tuck that right side of the pelvis in and under as you press to the left heel. So there are two actions here. See if you can do those two actions simultaneously, working from the center of your buttocks. So we lift through the crease of the armpit, chest, through the front. The backs of the shoulders drop down away from the ears to keep those scapulas drawing down into the floor. And letting the breath lead the effort here. So just let your mind fall away and enjoy the breath. Enjoy this lovely space created by this neutral force, the breath. Let's take the right hand to the outer right foot and try and come inside the leg if you can. And the ankles on top of the knee, pressing the left heel to the wall. So that right foot is flat to the ceiling, as though you were pressing your right foot up, dropping the back of that right thigh down. Breathe deeply, full body breaths. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Love your breath. Love the breath you're in. So we're going to take the left leg as well. You may find it will help a lot if you have support underneath the head. You may need more than just a little support. It's up to you. So let's take the hands to the insides of both legs, trying to drop the thighs to the floor and take the sits bones and the tailbone away from the ribs down to the floor. So take your sits bones down, down, down towards the floor. Breathe deeply here, everybody. Full body breaths. And then let's release. And let's draw the knees to the chest. Let's take the arms out to the T position and just drop your knees over to the left. Left hand on top of the right thigh. Let's lift the chest away from the hips as we look to the right.
Thank you so much.
No worries. No worries. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming.
Very pleasant.
Just let your breath lead the effort here. Very pleasant tone like that. That's nice. Implies a peaceful, enjoyable practice. And then let's release the left arm. Let's lift the knees up through center and over to the right. Right hand on top of the left thigh. Lift the chest away from the hips as you look to the left. Let the breath lead the effort, let the mind fall away. Just a few more breaths here. Let's take the left hand over to the right. Let's use that left hand, pressing into the left hand with the right elbow. We're going to come up and take a downward dog with the ropes. No blocks underneath the hands. So we're just going to straighten the spine, flush all of those twists. So let's take the ropes. That's it. And let's come forward. This time, let's bring the feet a little closer together if you can. Let's walk the hands forward, pressing through the heels. Let's reach and stretch the armpit chest towards the hands. Draw your lower ribs towards your hips. So feel that double action in the upper chest to create that deep opening, and then let's tuck the sits bones, drawing them down towards the heels. So one more stretch. Let's come up onto the fingertips. See if you can walk your hands even further forward. Press through your heels, stretch your chest towards your hands. Let's walk the hands to the feet to the hands. Very nice, everybody. Let's come into our final Shavasana. So a pleasant stretch. Very nice. So if you need something for the back of your head, take something underneath your head. And as you come down, let's tuck the shoulder blades in and under to allow the palms to fall face up. And just have your legs just ever so slightly out to the sides. Releasing the body now. Closing the eyes. Let's just release and surrender to this stillness. But remain in a place of observation. Let's bring the hands to the belly. And as we deepen the breath, draw the thighs to the chest. And just take one final rock, rolling from side to side, releasing through your lower back and hips. Let's roll to the right, using your right elbow and your left hand to press you up. Let's come into an easy seated position. One more inhale. Reach the hands up as you inhale. Feel that sense of lift and length from your sits bones. Feel the size of the body growing longer and longer. Hands to prayer on the exhale. And now take that moment and genuinely thank yourself for the effort. That effort of bringing something new and positive, the effort of releasing and letting go of what you no longer need. Thank you all. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hallelujah.
And my feet thank you.
Done here, guys.
Oh.
Just a nice, easy stretch, the simplest of stretches. And completely let everything that troubles us fall away.